Good news! Twitch finally responded to me. I'll show you the email that they sent me, and I'll walk you through it. The first paragraph is a polite greeting. In the next paragraph, Twitch describes their process for suspending users from their website. They explain that they will never publicly announce why a specific user was suspended, because this would be a violation of their privacy policy. In the next paragraph, Twitch explains that if they had stated the reasons why Yandere Sim was banned, then they would technically be revealing the reasons why some of their users were banned, because it's against their privacy policy to divulge why any users have been banned. They didn't want to say anything about Yandere Simulator. In the next paragraph, Twitch explains how a game gets onto the prohibited games list. Twitch doesn't have time to review every single game in existence, so they wait until people are submitting reports about a game before they review that game and determine whether or not it should be banned. In the next part of the email, Twitch finally gives me exactly what I've always wanted: a bullet point list of everything that made them ban the game. 2 gameplay modes depicting characters in the nude. A mechanic in which the player takes panty shots to use as currency for favors from others. The only method of eliminating rivals was to murder them. The setting, intent of gameplay, and age of victims indicate the game is about violence against and sexual harassment of underage characters in a school setting. Well, it's not going to get me anywhere, but I feel like I can dispute all of these points. Nudity was removed from Titan mode, and I can put characters in towels if it's that big of a problem. There are other games with similar panty shot mechanics, and I can always add other forms of currency besides panty shots. Murder is no longer the only way to eliminate rivals. The player is strongly discouraged from slaughtering students indiscriminately. The game gets more difficult with each subsequent kill, and you won't get a good ending if you kill too many people. Sexual harassment isn't a core focus of the game either. It's completely optional. The only thing that seems out of place on this list is the last bullet point. There's nothing in the community guidelines page that says, "You can kill adults, but you're not allowed to kill children," or "You can kill people in a city, but you can't kill people in a school." All of the other points make sense. Either a game has nudity or it doesn't have nudity. It's a clear-cut black and white issue. But prohibiting a game because of its setting or the identity of its victims is close to banning it because you personally find it distasteful rather than because it violates a rule.
Call me a killjoy, but I think that because this is not to my taste, no one else should be able to enjoy it.
I'm all over that.
Oh, yes.
However, even though I can dispute all of the bullet points on that list, the next paragraph says, "Simply removing these elements today would not ensure removal from our list of prohibited games." The following paragraph explains why. While we acknowledge other titles may have some of these elements, Yandere Simulator was in early development, signaling these first elements of gameplay were core mechanics and themes. As the game is still in active development, there may have been more characteristics added since the title was last reviewed, and future features may be added which would further violate our community guidelines. Unfortunately, we are not prepared to commit to ongoing comprehensive re-evaluations during game development. It's a moving target that we do not feel comfortable revisiting until the game is more complete, especially given the circumstances of the initial suspension. In the future, as Yandere Simulator becomes feature complete, we would be happy to review it again. In other words, even if they did review the game today and discover that it doesn't qualify to be banned, they still wouldn't unban it, because the game is being updated with new content all the time, and they don't want to repeatedly reevaluate the game throughout its development. It's not the outcome I was hoping for, but I do understand Twitch's reasoning. Because the game has violated their guidelines once in the past, Twitch can't be certain that the game won't violate their guidelines again at some point in the future. If I was in their position, I might make the same decision. Although I definitely would not have taken 13 months to say so. I asked for a response from Twitch, and I got what I wanted. Now I finally know why they were so reluctant to speak about the ban. I finally know the reasons why they banned the game. And I finally know that they aren't willing to reconsider the ban until the game is complete. With all of that said, there are still a few things that are bothering me. I don't expect Twitch to directly communicate with me about it, but I'll tell you what's on my mind. Twitch's terms of service state that you may never broadcast sexual activity, nudity, or extreme violence. However, tons of popular mainstream games involve all of the above. To protect these games from getting banned, Twitch's community guidelines have a loophole. Occurrences of in-game nudity are permitted so long as you do not make them the primary focus of your content and only spend as much time as needed in the area to progress the game's story. A few days after my last video about Twitch, a game was released called Conan Exiles. This game allows the player to strip naked, with male and female genitals and nipples fully visible. Almost every big-name streamer on Twitch played this game while fully naked the entire time. In other words, they made nudity the primary focus of their content. That's supposed to be against Twitch's rules. But Twitch didn't care at all, and everyone playing Conan Exiles got away with it. This is a perfect example of how Twitch is not consistent about enforcing their own rules. Twitch has stated that they don't go looking for games to ban. They wait until a user has reported a game, and then they review the game's content. I guarantee that there are people who reported streamers that were broadcasting nudity in Conan Exiles. And yet, the game isn't banned. This is the type of thing that makes it abundantly clear that Twitch is biased when judging games, and that the rules don't apply equally to all games. If Twitch arbitrarily chooses when to enforce their rules and when to turn a blind eye, why should I trust Twitch when they give me an explanation for why Yandere Simulator was banned? If Twitch shows favoritism towards some games and bans other games, this creates the impression that they just use the community guidelines as an excuse to ban whatever they don't like. Well, regardless of how I feel, the most I can do is ask Twitch to reevaluate the game once it's complete, and that's about 2 years away. Yandere Simulator is going to remain banned for the foreseeable future, unless Twitch completely revises their community guidelines or completely changes their stance towards banned games. I have no reason to suspect that either of these things will change in the near future, so this will probably be my final video on the subject of Twitch. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and thank you for following the development of Yandere Simulator.